So, babe, what's your thoughts on Manchester United?
Shit! They are dead.
At the time of recording this now, the match hasn't finished yet, but it's currently 3-0 to Manchester City. The game is over. The game's over, so I might as well do a match reaction to this and also ask for making it 4 wins from 4. You understand? I don't know where I'm tapping the batch, but yeah. 4 wins from 4 against Burnley. Scam the win. That's what champions do, man. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, turn on post notifications. Without any further ado, let's get into these match reactions. So, Manchester Derby. Let's start with that because that's the biggest game of the weekend. And let's just cut to the chase. Manchester United got absolutely embarrassed. They got embarrassed. Men against boys. Poor. Dreadful. Like, it wasn't a Manchester derby. It was a training session for Manchester City. Let's be honest, because me personally, I didn't feel like Manchester City like played to their absolute best, but they didn't need to because Manchester United was absolutely terrible on the ball. You know what's so crazy? In the first half, Manchester United actually had some promising moments on the counter attack, but surprise, surprise, as we've seen before, they couldn't make the most out of it. And Manchester City was comfy. It was either they was caught offside Manchester United, or the passes was sluggish, or the crosses were poor. Manchester United, their use of the ball is absolutely horror. But that's fine. As long as Amarim still stays in charge, we're gonna be feasting. Manchester United needs to protect Ruben Amarim because he's making the whole world admire him more. Why? Because he's making Manchester United worse, and I love every single bit of it. But now, all seriousness though, Manchester City, after 2 defeats, questions was being asked, given their injury issues as well. They responded emphatically. They responded because I can't lie, Foden done his thing, and I'm going to talk about it tactically as well. You see, when Doku had an amazing game by the way with 2 assists, but you see where Doku was drifting from the left to the centre to make that midfield three of Foden, Reinders, and Doku with Rodri at the back. It was causing Manchester United all sorts of problems in the build-up because they didn't know whether to go with Doku, which will leave space for the likes of Haaland to exploit, or drop back and allow City to dominate the middle of the park because they were breaking lines. What's the word? They was breaking lines for food. They was breaking lines for joy. They were absolutely violating them in the first half in the midfield. But are you surprised? The Manchester United's midfield is absolutely atrocious. Atrocious midfield. Do you understand? And Ugarte in that game, dreadful. But credit to Manchester City though, because I actually thought Manchester United was going to win this game. I don't know why I said that, but I genuinely thought Manchester United was going to win this game. But Manchester City, they responded, man. Phil Foden with a goal. Doku done absolutely sensational to beat Luke Shaw. Luke Shaw's absolutely cooked, by the way. He's finished, but I'll touch on that later. That quick turn to get away from his defenders. The first cross was blocked, but the second cross, it landed on Foden's head. And Foden, brilliant header to direct it into the bottom corner. 1-0. And yeah, man, towards the end of that first half, Manchester City was by far the better team in my opinion. I feel like they used the ball way better than Manchester United. They had chances to double their league. Obviously, Haaland, his hold-up play was amazing, by the way. He tried playing a little 1-2 Bernardo Silva, but unfortunately the touch let him down. And yeah, man, the first half due to a close, 1-0, Manchester City. Yeah, man, no one can argue with the first half performance. Manchester United had one shot on target. And updates, yes, 3-0. Game's done, 3-0. And what was I going to say? Manchester United had one shot. One shot in the first half. Zero on target. Dreadful. Absolutely dreadful. Then the second half, it just got worse. Erling Haaland absolutely bullied Manchester United today. He destroyed the whole back line. Luke Shaw got absolutely cooked in terms of the Foden goal. And also for Haaland, physically, he's washed. Defensively, he's washed. Going forward, he's washed. How on earth has he lasted more than 10 years at the football club, Manchester United? I don't know how, because he's been an absolute joke for a while now, and it's starting to get pretty serious because he's one of the main reasons why Manchester United are where they are right now. Keeping players like him for far too long at the club and finessing money. You understand? Because he's stealing a living right now, putting in shocking performances, constantly being injured. And are you surprised at that performance? Not really. You understand? Obviously, De Ligt didn't have his best of games whatsoever. He got out-muscled by Haaland and touching on Erling Haaland. His hold-up play, undeniable. Basing it on today's performance, his hold-up play was undeniable. His link-up play was undeniable to help sustain attacks and help Manchester City move fluid with the ball. Also, his movement undeniable. His finishing undeniable. Excellent first time finish when Doku slid him a perfectly through ball onto his path. dinked to keeper. And then the second goal, Manchester United made a mistake. Bernardo Silva pinged it to Haaland. He was never going to miss that. He was never going to miss that. You know what's so funny? Pep Guardiola was asked a question. His honest lot apparently said that Isak is probably the best striker in the world. And Pep said, obviously, Haaland's a bit better. Haaland responded to that with 2 goals and a 10 out of 10 performance. What I'm going to say, wait till Isak plays football. But yeah, in terms of Haaland, brilliant, absolutely brilliant. He showed leadership qualities today. He's one of the senior players in the squad, even though he's 25 years of age, and he shows his experience and he showed his qualities. So shout out Erling Haaland every time. Also, the players that had good games for Manchester City, Kuzmanov had a brilliant game. Ruben Diaz looked back to his old self. Who else? Rodri was a bit sloppy in the first half, but in the second half he managed to fix up. Bernardo Silva had his better games. Obviously, you get me, Doku, when he caused Manchester United all sorts of problems. So Manchester City, I would say it's a 7 out of 10 performance. It wasn't to the levels that I know they can hit. You understand? But they didn't need to perform like that because Manchester United was so bad. So, yeah, man, shout out Manchester City for the win. And they needed that win. They really needed that win. They needed this type of performance to instill confidence, to instill faith. And Manchester is blue. As for Manchester United, again, you have to protect Amarim because, you get me, he's making Manchester United worse, man. But the likes of Dorgu, I don't think he was bad today. But going forward, Dorgu, his attacking deficiencies are getting exposed. I feel like he'll be a better fullback than a wingback. Same goes for Mazawawi. I think he'll be a better fullback than he is as a wingback because it hides their attacking deficiencies and it shows their defensive qualities. You understand? Obviously, Euro, Delete, they didn't have the best of the games. Haaland bullied them. In midfield, Bruno Fernandes, shocking. Am I surprised? That's the captain of Manchester United. So inconsistent in the big games. People are saying he's world class. He is not world class. I don't care what anyone tells me. He's far too inconsistent for the big games for my likings. Far too inconsistent. And these are the games that you need your captain to step up. And he didn't do that, innit? He didn't do that. Ugarte, dreadful. Kobe Mini, when he came on, didn't, get the game up to speed. And Bremo, he was one of Manchester United's better players, but I don't think he was great. The crosses was a bit mediocre. Donnarumma made a great save though, and shout out Donnarumma because he had a very good performance. That was a fantastic save to deny Bremo off that first time volley. Sesko was starving. He was starving, bro. In the first half, you can see he was the best at the attackers in terms of hold-up play, but in terms of being a box present, he was nowhere to be seen. Nowhere to be seen. But, it's going to take time. I'm not really going to get onto Sesko like that, even though I want to. Ahmad was poor. The whole Manchester United team was poor. Let me see if this can back up my talk, you understand? It's obviously, let me look at the stats. The stats, obviously, it says that Manchester United had more possession, but let's be real. After Manchester City went 3-0 down, they kind of gave them the ball. Yes, they had more shots, but come on, man. We watched the game. Manchester United was absolutely horrific. Absolutely horrific. So, obviously, expected goals 1.83. So, by judging of these stats, it looked like Manchester City was just more clinical than Manchester United. That's absolute nonsense, bro. Manchester City absolutely dominated Manchester United until, obviously, when they went 3-0, they decided to let Manchester United have the ball. Let's be real in it. Manchester City absolutely cooked them. Absolutely cooked them. You understand? And, yeah, man, in terms of, let's go on ground duels. One, Manchester United had the thing. Aerial duel City, successful dribble City. Yeah, man. I think these stats are kind of deceiving, to be honest. But let me see if I can go through players in it in terms of starting 11 lineup. Let me see if I can do it. Yes, I got it. So obviously, Doku, amazing. 2 assists. Haaland, amazing. Manchester City, fair play to them. What a win. As for United, so that kind of backs up my point. Absolutely dreadful. Absolutely dreadful, man. So yeah, man. That goes for the Manchester City Manchester United game. Manchester United got whipped up. They got battered. You understand? And yeah, man, it makes me happy. You understand? Now, let's talk about real business. Liverpool Football Club made it 4 wins from 4 to start off the Premier League season. Doing what champions do best. Grind out wins, even though you're not performing to their best. Up to the level. You understand? Let me see if I can get football on. And yeah, man, I can't lie though. The game was very, very frustrating. Very frustrating. I'm not going to lie to you because in the first half, people were saying that it was poor in the first half. I don't think it was poor in the first half. You know what happened? It was just that we moved the ball a bit too slow for our likings. We was getting to promising position, but the lack of quality in the final third was to show because our attackers, some of them were not looking like their usual self, or some of them was actually trying to contribute. Like Gakpo, I feel like Gakpo had a very decent game. He was putting in crosses in. He was combining well with McAllister in certain aspects of the game to get away from Walker, so he can position himself in the best possible way to either score a goal or create a chance. Unfortunately, it didn't come off. Ekitike, I feel like Ekitike was starving today, but in the second half, he did get more into the game, but he couldn't get his goal. Salah was off it, but he's inevitable, of course. Florian Wirtz, and I don't think, I'm going to say, I think Florian Wirtz had a 7 out of 10 game. I know people be like, oh, look at the stats that he had from the game. Absolute nonsense. I watched the game, bro. And Florian Wirtz, in the first half, he was obviously getting onto the ball. He was making some nice touches. He was combining well. But the execution was the problem. He wasn't executing his passes. He saw the vision, but the execution wasn't there. Obviously, McAllister in the first half, atrocious. Something's up with McAllister. I don't know if he's fully fit. I don't think he's fit because receiving the ball under pressure, sluggish. Keeping possession, sluggish. Obviously, defensively sluggish. McAllister has not started the season off well. Now, I know McAllister is definitely going to pick up speed, but as of right now, he's been poor. Gravenberch, my oh my. Ryan Gravenberch. The Gravenberch turn. Undeniable. Gliding through Burnley's midfield today, opened up the game. Gliding through the touches, the passes. Like, he was the best player on the pitch by an absolute mile. He was Liverpool's best player by an absolute mile. The two centre-backs, Van Dijk and Konate, stopping counter-attacks to a T. Van Dijk, you know what Van Dijk is. Aerial duels. Out of all the aerial duels he's contested so far this season, he won every single one. General, one of the greatest Premier League centre-backs of all time. Top two, and I'll argue that with anyone. He's absolutely ridiculous. Konate, he was very, very good today. Mentally, he's locked in now. Hopefully, he's locked in. 2 games in a row, he's been locked in. This is his last season, so let's hope that he puts out a 10 out of 10 season, because we need him to do that. So, if we have the best chance of winning a trophy. Kirkheads, didn't have the best of games, got hooked. That dive, ridiculous dive, and the atmosphere really got to Kirkheads. So, it's going to take a while for Kirkheads to get used to the system that Arne Slot wants him to play, because he's not playing the way he's playing at Bournemouth, so he needs to adapt. But I have no doubt that Kirk is going to come good, man. It's just, hopefully he learns from this lesson. Robertson, when he came on, was good. So, and obviously, Szoboszlai right back was doing his thing. But as a collective, though, in the first half, it was a lot to work on, but it wasn't a poor performance. In the second half, we turned it on. Obviously, shout out Burnley, though, because they defended very well. You can see Scott Parker has done very well with his defensive structure, hence why they only conceded 16 goals in the Championship last season. They made it very difficult for us to play between the lines, to get runs in behind. They was making header blocks, and it was getting very frustrating. So shout out Burnley. On the counter-attacks, though, I feel like they should have used the ball better, but they got themselves in promising positions. It's just when you're coming up against Van Dijk and Konate, 9 times out of 10, you don't really have a chance. So, that's just me. But in terms of Liverpool in the second half, we upped the tempo, was moving the ball quickly, we was taking shots, Wirtz was getting shots off, blocked, Wirtz was taking the ball off the left-hand side and carrying it in the middle to try make key passes, which he was doing that. His tight spaces was very good as well, he was combining well, but the execution again. But I've seen enough from Florian Wirtz from this game to be like, yeah, this guy's going to be balling, like I said in my previous video. So, yeah, man, shout out Florian Wirtz. I feel like it was a good performance, man. I know people are not going to agree, but I know what I saw. He done his thing today, in my opinion. In the second half, obviously, taking shots, making substitution. Conor Bradley came on. I think he done very well. Combining, also making runs into the box. He had a couple of chances. Robertson, with the crosses, was on point today. He came on, added a bit of experience to the game, knew where he needed to be, knew when to attack, knew when to defend, and he done that. Yeah, man, just Ekitike had a chance, which I feel like he should have shot on his left foot, but he managed to cut inside. And the substitutions, Chiesa came on. Chiesa had the chance with the header, obviously couldn't convert it, and then was like, the goal was coming. It was coming, in my humble opinion, but I knew that it was going to be a late goal, and it was a late goal. We got a penalty. Hannibal, thank you very much. Mo Salah, 188 goals now in the Premier League. 4th in terms of the all-time Premier League goal scoring charts. Undeniable. This is what big players do. They step up when pressure's on and they convert. You understand? But yeah, obviously Frimpong came on. He had a chance. It was a timid shot, but we got the win. That's all that matters at the end of the day. But performances definitely needs to improve, because Bournemouth, 88th minute winner. Newcastle, 98th minute winner. Arsenal, 85th minute winner. And now Burnley 93rd minute winner. We love the late goals. We might as well call it slot time. They said Fergie time before, now it's slot time because champions make their luck. We make our luck. You understand? So listen, 4 wins from 4, man. That's all it takes. That's all it takes. So hopefully we can improve our performance against Atletico Madrid, because we need to improve that performance. You understand? And hopefully we see Alexander Isak get some minutes because he wasn't involved today, as Arne Slot said that he wasn't ready. So yeah, man. As we look at the statistics, obviously 1-0 win. In terms of possession, in terms of we had more possession, more shots, more big chances. We definitely deserve the win. Burnley can hold their head high, but he's very well, man. Understand? Obviously, Canate done his thing. McAllister poor. See, 7.3 for Florian Wirtz. They saw what I saw. I feel like he had a good game. Ekatike, that he could have done more, but it wasn't a bad performance whatsoever. Gravenberch, stealing the show. And Burnley, Walker done well. They was down to 10 men as well as they got sent off, which Arne Slot, to his credit, he was about to bring on. He managed to take off Canate, put Gravenberch back, and he brought on 2 attacking-minded players like Real Engemar. He almost got himself an assist. You can see the threat. 1v1 threat, you can see Real Engemar has it. You understand? And yeah, man, that was the game, man. Unlucky Burnley. We make it 4 wins from 4. And who's going to stop us? Who's going to stop us? We're still waiting to get beaten. Are we going to get beaten? Good luck with that one. Thank you guys for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed the match reaction. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. And again, make sure you spam that subscribe button. Make sure you spam the like button as well. And until then, I am out. 1. Yeah, done know already.